I am the first born in the United States member of my immediate family. And coming from those roots, those Latino roots, the whole generation before me, all of my aunts and uncles were all in the service. They came to the United States. They grew up in the United States. They loved being in the United States instead of being in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they became soldiers. They volunteered for the Marine Corps, for the Army, for the Air Force.
Wow.
And I grew up in a household where everybody, all the adults around me, were former military. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It was honorable, and it was a responsibility, and it was a commitment to serve in uniform. So I always grew up knowing that was coming, and never having a qualm with it, because I saw it as an opportunity, but I also saw it as my way of giving back and continuing that legacy that my family kind of set before me.
Yeah. Do you think there was a lot of pressure though put on you, especially being like first generation? I hope I'm saying this correct, like full-blooded American, if you will, right? Like a lot of pressure to kind of continue and stay the path.
Yes. And, it's really funny that you bring that up. There's a common thread between me and most 40-year-old first-generation Americans, where our native tongue was not given to us. So I don't speak Spanish. My mother intentionally kept Spanish out of our house because the pressure was, you're Americans. Like, your job is to be an American. Americans speak English. Yeah. You can always learn Spanish some other time, but we need you to speak fluent English. We need people to see you and hear fluent English. We don't need people to hear a Mexican speaking English. We need people to look at you and hear you speak English. You can speak Spanish with an American accent, but you can't speak English with a Mexican accent.
Wow. Wow.
So, and that was a very intentional decision. Myself and my two sisters, none of us grew up with Spanish. I have cousins that don't speak Spanish because their parents did the same thing that my mom did, because they were all related, right? And in my entire family chain, my family tree, there is not one single fluent Spanish-speaking cousin. We were all, the language was bred out of us by our parents.